This is Buadu TV, truth and integrity.
CIA was paying JB Dankwah's family the stipends. I had been where the man was jail because no money draw.
Buadu TV so any other for Yamamunyina Kaba and Fa and Brasso. First time is Mpejamos and here. More like video no. I mukare mo dey subscribe but I say we are na wa like na fi o ja comment so at comment section. Finally yen na yen share na yen kwa yenim. Na Captain Smart akasa say de bia me catch us also ono no waka dada say JB Dankwah no wa me ehwe magana. What I say o se wa me ehwe afa magana kwa me nkoma na yen bibia Akufo Addo ba say na JB Dankwah na hwan na Founders Day na hwan something they were brave so na mpese meka bebre enti yenkuti Captain Smart eno echi so no one your friend say yaw Anokye frempon historian na osanso ye beka say osanso cry politician because say okofo CPP eyi na mfama no na yenkuti omukomo twetwe so e course emudo pa ibeti account
de e kona ohun ye du ba bia Ese one actual history books or Nkrumah yina no ye throw them for questioning. One actual political history or Nkrumah yina ese ye throw on ye busa someone some. Say number 1 time no more trust as no my dream with da ho. Number 2 say no my dream with da ho. Eye nipa bone sem. Number 3 wo mo share da and I say e be yi. Who I said actual political history Nkrumah Professor Dubu Ahewewu yentimi nyane no but Professor Aaron by Kokwe otiase I see a friend in ebusa these questions no answer titru you before ewo Nkrumah actual books say no na say ye manusua ewo secondary schools universities ni actual wo kosua history ewo Ghana ha say one kan Aaron by Kokwe Professor Dubu Ahewewu book there history no be faili but political history no mo tro Nkrumah no does it correspond with all the histories in the world about Ghana put together a correspond here? The answer is no. History Aaron Michael Kwe Edu Buahin and all the rest Troye say you before the Troye ni no wo fa books e wa asase su nyina bom eyepe ba wo fa omienu no de na edifa. What it means is that Wamo said they will twist Ghana's political history to their advantage. And it said Peter na ya de by force as I say the come echo. Umpo fama echo. Enti say one farm man called the that just said the watch no and now the work cannot yet correct. Maybe see series way next year. See, number 2. Enra, His Excellency the former President of the Republic of Ghana. Nana Dankwah Akufo Addo. Eka with Chebi Presby sorry them. Say Openi JB Dankwah and Nkrumah just were passing derogatory comments and remarks about him. Say, and some na ye keke bifa JB Dankwah hono and ye correct. Asamna Honorable Murtala Muhammad Khan no so aso ye traitor. JB Dankwah concern men am catchero. And I'll prove it this morning. It is already table iswa. My bomb the new set of books aba. Books we are University of Ghana, Legon Library or machine na omunibi. I brought new books. I have repeated Dark Days in Ghana, the Green Book, Ghana, the autobiography of Kwame Nkrumah, and then me the other books about. Actually I was say, as I seen it, as I said, me hunti sorry, and some can be here to say the camera and the far. the titles ni JB Dankwah konkonsani and I don't know me say ahemfo bi ne Nkrumah bi agu nsa ne ade say den no me see me pedi oso oye bema ah we see wa kan Ghana history now unim Ghana about some political history no just come and sit here that's all brother better baby I'm hearing of it so feel say aha me baby I'm here adwuma nti wan hwa wonye comfortable wo ntowa wo de yen kwa Accra Sports Stadium na yen fa microphones mienu si anim wo say wo na wo ye obi a wonim the political history of this country but now and let's discuss JB Dankwah me so e konkonsani abraba ye bo mem ha ye ho antoyin na JB Dankwah question number 1 then JB Dankwah ye ma Ghana mon kana minti I'm asking one question obi chama de ba ko papa ba ko pese a JB Dankwah ye ya ye betimi di ye nsa tene so say si ho say watro ye papa efa Ghana ho edu ayin say me one say bako say JB Dankwah the reason why you do baby na JB Dankwah ne buzi antem essay no me ka kire wachina maybe you don't know edu baby na JB Dankwah ne buzi antem asai cause say ko di buzi aso ho nkonkonsa me see I am looking up to solve me try obi so obi be unity Gabi Ocheda ko Dankwah Institute me boa Otro article bi I think this was around 2011 or so 2012 baby was it that time no I think it's later than that well whichever yawo papa bi no ye Ghana US ambassador to Ghana Kwame Nkrumah time sa papa no otro assembly for JB Dankwah ho no ye Ghana United States of America ambassador no wo Ghana had that time Kwame Nkrumah time asem na me ka kire no papa no obo form o makola no na asem na me ka no obo form say pepra tam US ambassador wa from pepra e o makola your friend Professor Richard D. Mahoney your friend Richard Mahoney otro book bi JFK Ordeal in Africa JFK Ordeal in Africa now papa the book no otro no ukwa chapter 6 now or come in some about Ghana he wrote another memoir and our title some memoir they say JB Dankwah the patriot of Ghana or a question mark oh we say it's JB Dankwah or no JB Dankwah no na oye no kwafo adwen papa amanyo o man ye die woni tirimu ampa ana ono na trust book no JFK Ordeal in Africa we quote chapter 6 of that book chapter 6 and started from 157 page 157 what was that book no be no correct page 157 and a chapter 6 no started sanka chino ana what home ate because me come by me chapter 6 of that book who be a what soft copy no page 157 so this copy be and we first say where me can say yes soft and they hard it's a hard copy there we on page 156 what will be the kind 2nd June 1961 am I right yes Papa ya friend JB Dankwah no ko jail. Kwame Nkrumah che no. Then tina Kwame Nkrumah che no. That time no was 19 concerned letters about Osaji for Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. I have copies of all the letters. It be say political historian be a work room hano. Wo de nya akukuduro na bra. JB Dankwah concern oka ho na Ghana ye brei. And I didn't see Ache, and it has taken me almost 7 years. Apart from the books now, it taken me 7 solid years going deeper into this. And I can chest out and boldly tell you, sir, JB Dankwah or concerning Ghana ye in Africa, JB Dankwah. And I'll prove to you, and ne, Echina, Ukriada, and Yawada, Name for this week. But series where the trauma could see next year. And say, why, Bibi Baba Fifem near court nearby. Papa ne trust our book, no. Chapter 6, no, and send me ho. And then I got you a Chedako or Trotto Dankwah Institute for website. Says Sikabia na America for Triama JB Dankwah, so because why concerning no Ghana Hano. Na ye US Embassy. And an etria sasikano, Emma JB Dankwah. No mom na CIA and an etria. Gabi Mebwana. Why did you pull that thing down? A year swano, Gabi Ochedako e puli. Sadiane down. It's now in any case. Mete me nyaduma. Me yaduma media general. But me yaduma TV3. It is a TV3 for prepare on payroll. Patrick Captain Smart din bebaso. Betie me nyadwa American embassy. It is American embassy. Prepare on payroll. Anyone want more allowance. Say me nye ma US and then American embassy betu amika. Now this is the deal. JB Dankwah timer and concern 19 or Tete Kwame Nkrumah factory where JB Dankwah will do nothing about the factory but will start writing disparaging letters and comments and serious and concerned by Kwame Nkrumah to UK. And you know what? Russia was monitoring JB Dankwah. And if you want to dare me, it can be found in this book. Okay. If again you want to dare me, you can still find it in this book. Remember, so proper. Again, if you don't want to believe me, go and read Richard Hall's book that he wrote, Kaunda, founder of Zambia. You will find it there. Now listen to me. And then go and read Professor Richard D. Mahoney, Ghana, U.S. former ambassador to Ghana, joined Osaji for Dr. Kwame Nkrumah's time. The friend Mahoney. Time at JB Dankwah fee or quarter prison, no. Next CIA, etuya JB Dankwah busha foka. Same fan where you are in command prison. No, a CIA asset. Now let me break it down so you can understand proper. Say CIA new year Juma. One more 2 categories for foreigners. And one more 5 categories for one United States of America. Mapa, one person who use more proper. It's either you are an asset or you are an agent. Say US CIA catch us away one more asset. Umo dupa agent. Asset no 1 within concern. 2 within securo. Number 3 and some I want many more. Ebetimi amo minor here. US ehwehwe o monsan kan no wo na wo de koma mo eti ye fa de say Peter ewa adwin bi a wo de tirim o pesa o ma onua ye a na ekọ hyekire ekọ te adwin ne pe pa no de mirika na wakoka say hey good afternoon o wo plan foforo asan de aba mo anso ano a mo te wasa ano ama Ghana abaye te say America mo de mo ntena ho na mo hwe na ye bi before de ese ekoso asa aso mo. Fidel Castro wrote this speech 29th anniversary of the attack on the Mokanda garrison. Grammar, 26th of July 1982. Go get the speech and read. Me say it has taken me few so to learn about JB Dankwah. Oh yeah, Kwankwansani. He's not just a traitor. Padini ye Kwankwansani. And I'm telling anybody, you share one-on-one. Bring your documents, I'll bring my documents. Bring your books, I'll bring my books. anybody. The question is that when the first copy or the copy of Kwame Nkrumah's 7-year development plan policy no etu kwan or the coin JB Dankwah the coin or the coin JB Dankwah the coin. JB Dankwah told the CIA, say, listen, for the very first time, he told the CIA, say, Ghana's independence means nothing to him. These were his own words. And I have a document to prove it to you. I can't just take him in Fienson to investigate that man. JB Dankwah catch CIA say Ghana's independence now Kwame Nkrumah ni hu hancho o pese Ghana de ne ho na Ghana be your man ni mo du e we bibrem ha nyina no. It means nothing to him. There's a document to prove. He wrote officially. So let nobody sit anywhere in this country and think that JB Dankwah did something for this country. You can never change the history of this country. Back to the main story. Go and read JFK Ordeal in Africa. And tomorrow I will show you pictures. Mfoni betcha me bodia na me the picture na to ho bam me bodia na me the picture na to ho bam me bodia na me the picture na to ho bam no obi ani so ada ho cause it has taken me 7 years because me your school no wo chese ye can Ghana history a JB Dankwah then I said no akware yaje obi ani onyama ani kwan se oje. So let me take my time and investigate this. We shared Dr. B or Ton Edro of Yahya Bisano. At a point, I traveled with him to somewhere to go collect books. Chapter 6 of that book. JB Dankwah the prison, no. And then people said that JB Dankwah was rich. He was not rich, Bia. If indeed JB Dankwah was rich, and then the CIA and the Trianica. And this kind of man a bush for me. I didn't want to come out of prison. Can I stand? People will try to twist and turn our history. It will not wash. It wouldn't go anywhere. It will never happen. Not anymore. JB Dankwah the prison where a US ambassador to Ghana, Kwame Nkrumah time, my body diamao. Your friend Richard D. Mahoney. Or no, actually on the book. Plus the memoirs. Say, a year Ghana. We no. JB Dankwah the prison, no. Say the Yadisika. If CIA ho, a brand of bush for. CIA was paying JB Dankwah's family the stipends. I didn't want to man in jail because no money draw. I can concern no did. Me say, we bet me about them. We buy now so don't crack taba. Me swear to be crack taba. The year, baby, obi a nyo obi a studio. We table see ha, me table see ha. O kasa na me so me kasa. We can no abo page, no abo page. No we prove, no me prove. Ne ekọ, ne ehwa de okrum ha. Ghana yanye na JB Dankwah. I'm telling you today. And I have one say MP before that Dankwah buzi adomo really. Anya me one say besi ne. Kesika wo mawia wo mem ha. Say dem say say Ghana. Say dem say atete o man because Dankwah asefo. Exactly what he was doing. Now watch this. JB Dankwah da prison by 2nd June 1961. Maybe yeah. It can be. Obaye no. Peter when you are there, JB. The guy walked straight to the US ambassador in Ghana that time. Say, I don't know. And CIA for one met me up Pobi won ya. Etria the car until the evening. Me say go and read chapter 6 of JFK or deal in Africa, you will understand this proper. Gabi Otreda Kunankasa Troy, he was trying to defend, say, JB Dankwah CIA asset, an agent, in whichever way, whether asset or agent, JB Dankwah no di Nkrumah and the Ghana Hong Kong concern. And ambassador and the catcher and say, hey, Kewo, ambassador and no matter watch row. Where Yami Quadra smart na America. And say, Ukofa, say, America for declassify how Osage for Dr. Kwame Nkrumah was overthrown. Ukofa had documents in na. And see, let me say this. You do baby a sense and for your Ghana. You see there. Because the BBC on hot da. So beshe. So be bet twisted no what turning the history of United Kingdom. And see that BBC on penny. Even other private radio stations and TV stations in the United Kingdom, they will never agree. Go to America, CNN. They will never ever. So I'm better now watch it. Oh, I want to know how you day. Yampuana. Be a to me. Sir, CNN, better now, Ashe, so be and twist, now on 10, American history, NC, France 24, on penny, but what about Africa had ya? Yet to be said a penny patrianica, me tell you, Mummy to me. Huh? Ya ba Africa ha. Wo betimi atena ha hwe ayen hwe ha say yen de yen dane no yen twist your history yen twist everything. And this is what your president Obama call enra and na oka by the right time. Remember no amount. Now President Simeon can't just say you pass derogatory remarks about JB Dankwah. JB Dankwah no concerning. What did it not fear? Ye. And see, Ambassador and catcher say, oh, JB. As some now will catch them no there. Minimum say na me country America triauka. Because Richard D. Mahoney, now America say we must suspect say or you're closer to Kwame Nkrumah, and indeed, it proved that Kwame no you're closer because Penny B and your friend Richard Wright. Now on a down for pan. US ambassador to Ghana. Chenye, na down for pan any US ambassador to Ghana. I a friend Richard D. Mahoney. He wrote a letter to Osage for Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. That is how US got to know, sir. Abrantiana, a friend Richard D. Mahoney. He was one of the greatest diplomats America produced here. When we in free Ghana, when we in free Africa. But the son said na obey Kwame Nkrumah panty no na esesa wo pe kwan bi fa so anu twafa no and CIA betumi twafa ho sesi a and America tutu mrika kwahwehwe ko hu say Sir Richard D. Mahoney no ono ne body power America Kwame Nkrumah so body eti sana tedia sa wo mama ambassador no hu say Womu tria JB Dankwah ka fon konkonsa e o Ghana ha de a ene Kwame Nkrumah bete so womu twafa de ho eti Mahoney can say he doesn't know anything about how much he JB Dankwah is being paid every month. I am daring the Dankwah Institute to come and tell me JB Dankwah renegotiated or negotiated here so from 30 days to 21 days. And this is documented. So when you read Nkrumah's book, Kwame Nkrumah, dark days in Ghana. Sana down for now, your friend, Richard Wright, you know. Don't forget, sir. Mahoney is so the Richard. Where you Richard D. Wright, and where you Richard D. Mahoney. Okay, it's no more Fimbia or Moody, Ghana, higher one for Fia or Moody. Remember the caffeine and no Moody natural. Now, let's see. He wrote something to a side for Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. This is what pushed CIA to know, say no. Say you bought Ambassador Mania. One shot. Obe confided in this man. So confided in Richard D. Wright, Pepepa. Richard would also confide in Kwame Nkrumah. So Kwame Nkrumah will get to know the details. As a result, we will pay JB Dankwah without the knowledge of the ambassador. That is why Susanna Bryan was brought to Ghana during Professor Richard D. Mahoney's time. And I am daring anybody to come and challenge me. And by the grace of God, Kwame Nkrumah ni abaya ne chimpena, tasamne tote ye. I thought that I map our positive patterns. I thought that I map our positivity. Because girl ne buy no. Woman de ne buy. Say or no on shadow triaka. So she was brought all the way from the United States to Ghana. And you back na no ye Ghana and once over here so be JB Dankwah. And then I am challenging Gabi Ochedako. Susanna Bryan went to baby and JB Dankwah dano. Ya chini to no kwasra 4 times. Mebwana. Susanna kwasra JB Dankwah 4 times. And then obia wo ye Ghana ni ayachi watum. The US Embassy for NMS round. So why are they? Bonnie, no, why are they? I felt a letter now. Opening Richard D. Wright to show you. Letter to Kwame Nkrumah. Where? No, for Kwame, the Black Power. And this was published. Landing in New York, it was 1954. It was published again at several years and times. Or say, I say to you publicly and frankly, Dimachi, I say to you publicly and frankly, the burden of suffering that must be borne, impose it upon one generation. Do not with a false kindness, do not with the false kindness of the missionaries and businessmen drag out this agony for another 500 years, whilst your villages and your people's minds sink into the morass of the subjective darkness. Be merciful by being stern. Kwame Nkrumah, be merciful by being stern. If I lived under your regime, I would ask for this hardness, this coldness. Make no mistake, Kwame. They are going to come at you with words about democracy. Make no mistake. I wish I could be for our mic and economy be a man and no kind. Make no mistake, Kwame. They are going to come to you with words about democracy. You are going to be pinned to the wall and warned about democracy, about decency. Plump-faced men will mumble academic phrases about sound development. Gentlemen of the cloth will speak of values and standards. In short, a barrage of concentrated arguments will be hurled at you to persuade you to temper the pace and drive of your movement. Hana some one Hano Sha says or Chichi JB Dankwah Adomono. Because there will come a barrage of concentrated arguments will be hurled at you to persuade you to temper the pace and drive of your movement. Afeti, paragraph 4. But you know, as well as I do. So this is where the CIA realized that no, Padino, or a crime chocho mucho. So a crime chocho mucho dia. Nessa or ye Mahoney chocho mucho dia. Ye can't so much there, Mahonia. Mahoney be catch right. Right it here in Nkrumah bete. Eti yanka. But you know, as well as I do, that the logic of your actions is being determined by the conditions of the lives of your people. Oh my God. Broni na try we am Kwame Nkrumah. Paragraph 1, 2, 3. Paragraph 4. There will be no way to avoid a degree of suffering, of trial, of tribulation. Suffering comes to all people. But you have within your power, you have within your power the means to make this suffering of your people meaningful. To redeem whatever stress and strains may come. None but Africans can perform this for Africa. Kwame, you are the one who can perform this for Africa. And as you launch your bold programs, as you call on your people for sacrifice, you can be confident that there are free men beyond the continent of Africa who see deeply enough into life to know and understand what you must do, what you must impose. This is the letter he wrote to Osagyefo for Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. This page. This one. Okay, thank you. So let nobody sit anywhere and lie to you about JB Dankwah. There are documents to prove. And the American ambassador, Mahoney, said no. As for this one here, let me call and find out. So he wrote to the US government about the request of JB Dankwah, because JB Dankwah was bold enough. JB Dankwah to be nyakukuduro eko US ambassador no. On also frey no na yampa. So if he had been bold and walked straight to you, it's true. We pay him. A US ambassador no nani ba ne hoso. Eno who said ono so adam for pa Richard D. Wright watro krata bi ama Kwame Nkrumah. Na samna abante de tro no say Kwame hey said you otumfo tu na pofo dem no asade ne ba abonte no ebi ena papa no de ye Kwame Nkrumah. Said abaya sa dakro oda no sore na ne wura fikrata do obi be ka oba bi obi be publish ma Kwame Nkrumah te. And you say I say to you publicly and frankly, me can't tell them what to want to abonting. Say, or how yaw near mania a double man for comuno a modu. Nasa Kwame, what am I near anything? No one found Nancy for ma. Was it for nananum, Ghana, chi. Several years after, so we will so went me and found Nancy from. Anya di asesa oyama Ghana wasefo bebre Ghana behuna mane. Now this man wrote about JB Dankwah. This man Richard D. Wright, he wrote to Kwame Nkrumah about JB Dankwah, and there's a book which was written by Philip Agee inside the company CIA diary. It's here. Is here. Me see me po bi obetimi di insist ni bu aba JB Dankwah betra and afrem wo ba bia fa books bra me de beba. JB Dankwah ye concern first class bin share the so concern ni pada. Ah ba ma otimi di nkwankwansa kire na danfo girlfriend no gini feelings them. Really? It is also documented o. Me mo bitimi na make Sanka mini JB bra. Akamini JB. Na ye kwa baby ne ne Peter ko JB. Ena me ne wo ne Peter. Ya kwa me ge fie. Ye koduru ye no JB Dankwah ne Peter wo. Na JB Dankwah afre wa ka cho se ke wo. Ba sap ge ye odi captain chi. Ge ne ho fetchen captain. Adentina se oh, the captain now we shaha say JB Peter or captain kwaso anya adwuma na sagro and JB sim ma hohoro min so ade we ya koye ke wo menkan wo eto tia ye wo awasem na JB Dankwah timi akọ again no ayankrani minimini din let nobody deceive anybody in this country. Etimi akodin konkonsasa. Nanansi echere hini number 1. JB Dankwah nanansi echere hini the 1th. Na wajige no. Oye so awanwa no. Me pese me busa. Nanado Dankwah Akufo Addo say JB Dankwah ne ma say. JB Dankwah ne ma say. Yan fa no to amanto book no so ande betwam. Eti kwame Nkrumah bi be ba me catch so mo ye missionaries tie. Se CIA ni catch so be a missionary a. And trese nipa no kuta Bible. En so kuta Bible. Dabi missionaries ni ye CIA fo a mo ba. Eyo mo ho te sa asofo a wo mo de oba no krokro or defend the fell or dodo and you from missionaries. Enti asofo na wo de wo mo ba Africa yina mo de book we bra ye na e friend the Bible no. They were described as missionaries. They were all CIA agents. They are all CIA agents. Any another day discussion. Because what's your Bible? No, my catch was say, listen, me ye Christo ni. Me je Yesu Christo na wo. Ni wo. Ni wo soriye. Any sunsum konkron amayo edi. Me ji di pa. But I didn't find the Bible, no, it is not the word of God. It's a lie. The Bible is a book that contains the word of God. It's in Yamiasem, our Bible, but Bible and Yamiasem. You find on to her. The Bible, Nankasa crowd kind here. Obetiasie, Ubehunu said it here. Yanko book no so. So what happened? Ose Kwame. Be merciful by being stern. Ose. Nya badaye. Mema utimu nya di bebre bat. Hey, wujaf. Ye be memu. Fa wona nsi fam. They told me Kwame, make no mistake. Kwame, hey, man nyam from so da. Na omo beba. Mbeba be da da the democracy. Broni o, where Broni. Ye de mon frère democracy kabiba min kabi. It's a lie. The word democracy comes from the word democracy. It comes from the word demonic cracy. Democratic principles. Democratic principles. And if you want to challenge, go and read a Pigeon special. Because they are black. Derek Murphy and Cos John. I've taken 7 years. Because people say me can't some now. We are wait, no more evidence. Kwame, make no mistake. They are going to come at you with words of democracy. Remember, my friend can be a demonic. Saka democracy is demonic. And then the democracy catch us oba ware oba na bema ware bema. Dimachi, I'm telling you why democracy is demonic. It comes from the word democratic. Democratic principles. It's democracy in Africa. Ya solid di echire ni nyina no. Ehin na fi bai. Now in democracy, you say bema ndi bema to. Nti JB bejina hey. Me me yo girl na say una am girl. Me pewo. Me yo boy. Cause me ye penny chen. Na JB da ho. Na me ni JB da. Adentia a democracy. Really? Huh? So what was where the Edinburgh Mecca? Nantiama get any antibi. Because it's democracy. It came from the word democratic. Democratic principles. Eti bibia ekutia nyankopon, bibia ekutia natural principles no. A democracy mu ne fi. And they fighting that principle. Eti ye wo bi o ha wo kwa America se se baby democracy fi ba ya. Almost say only the ne kondo dua. Opeso oni dua na da. Ti be market echie otumi edua won fie no wa botokro wo mbekọ no wa yi ni be ma no wa no Viagra. No de ne be ma wodua po. Ukwache ne kope no wa katro say this is a democratic society. I have my right. I want the tree is my wife. Ya Nkrumah a won so won ne beda je wo fa ken no di gua no e mo hu ne honam moja se me yo won ne koda wo fa ken wo twa no wo bu no pa e ma ne ho bia asa wapira no eno na won ne da ne ho timi ba eno so democratic wajatum nti ukọ America ya won Nkrumah a won ne beda ono agye ne hutum not ho hit me pine hit my eye pine hit my nose pine hit my chest pine ubu body sa asa won ne da ne ho aba ukọ police station pa e be catch oh that is my right. Meanwhile with the Ghana ha near the Marabre say me matim sika ya me yere ho ade wo pesa wo tro times pesa me ye division of labor wo se me nye na ba na kana to say me ma na me na wo pagya de 92 jana wo ye pay say ye rape wo rape wo yere Kwame Nkrumah no ma rape fi say wo mo catch us o masoma missionaries ebisafo mo ntie ne ye missionary na yesi odi nyame asem na bre ye no tieni ye o won bedu Cape Coast na o masi asori e wo soro na slaves no egu ase no kwasam nyame anim ne se sanka Bible na o mode baaye no se ni na ye nyame asem ampa anye bia Bible no nka se esese enya ahomobro ema ye de onko denti na slaves no wo fom na abrofo adwunso gu omo so etinte so gu sabe wo ja wo nan gu on so na asore wo soro. Who told you they were missionaries? They were mercenaries. Omekum ye me sure bi awa baga na no say or you missionary na me dwa I don't want to hear that word missionary. They are all fake. Maybe somebody will say, Makion, you're missionary. Makion and one describing him as a missionary. It was the church in Glasgow that described Makion as a missionary. Makion did not describe himself as a missionary. There's a memoir Makion wrote, My Point of God. My Point of God. Makion, James Makion, he never described himself as a missionary. Makion said, Several missionaries have come and gone, but I am a servant of God. Makion never described himself as a missionary. It was the church in Glasgow that described Makion as a missionary. You know why? Makion knew, sir. Missionaries now when fear America. Missionaries from UK by they were agents to destroy Africa. So Makion decided that my point of God in that memoir he wrote, I am asking if apostles of my own church, if they have that. I got that document from Pastor JW Saki. And I have kept it till today. I got it from Pastor JW Saki. And I have kept it till today. Or see, missionaries have come and gone. But I am not, but a servant of God. And when you missionary be Master, you're careful. They did not bring the word of God. They came to subdue, suppress, depress, and oppress us. Book na branch and Troy. No. Kata no. Also kwame gyina yi for nice form. Obeshada the democracy abeda ada. Afi ekọ from no tie ni yi. Or say, gentlemen of the cloth will speak of values and standards. Gentlemen of the cloth near the here. Nana no mahemfo. I am for now on SCSA brofona show my dear no. I am asking Nana Dankwah Akufo Addo if he knows. And I'll prove to you from this book. Oche visited Nkrumah 5 times. Discussion then, of course, between Oche and Osaji for Dr. Nkrumah. And you are Oche Chebi Hine. Because Bakatwa say you knew Oche Hine Bia Ghana ha. Achim enclave no ya chemu miensa. Obia di ninkui. Obia nso nche obia. Etient me ka say nipa ba akofo na ye achimfo nyina hene. It's a lie. Eni buku biam. Wo call Ministry of Chieftaincy and Culture. As I say, the Ministry of Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs. Book could be anywhere you want title be or higher friend or chehine. A chim chebi hine. You watch him kotoku, you watch him boso. When we know your mahine, or be a paramount. And until the time or chehine copy is in regional paramount, a House of Chiefs no always poto bisan. Olusu poto. Nanko ya chim for in a head and I chim for him for Cotutiano. Olusu poto. The then Chebihini, no a dikro. He visited Nkrumah 5 times. If you want to know the discussion, it is in the book The Struggle Continues, Part 2. Kwame wrote several books. Listen, book where The Struggle Continues. Aluta Continua. Part 4, no ya Aluta Continua. Where Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, Part 4. Part 3, Part 2, Part 3, Part 4, University of Ghana for book no. But thanks to the Almighty God, I have this as the Part 1, I have the Part 2, I have the Part 3, and I have the Part 4. If you want it, me fear, me family book my own pie. O kind of fear, we are no asora koda. Send me book be free me fie. Ako fie the member be me because me fa ma. We never be say JB. Who be fie na open me book ah. Remember baby atena kan wo kan wi a na ma give book because me books na me wo no wo hwehwe organ ha baby a wo nya te me fa ma wo papa ne ka kire no say kwa me hey number 2 ya careful na wo mu frafra ntema ne ba o baba be dada because abrofra kwhye wo machi. And yes, I agree. I told you last Friday. Say mistake about Kwame Nkrumah yeah. And he said, Ote ahafu if you asante ho. It was because Kwame thought that Danfo, Richard D. Wright, actual book be amano, letter be amano. Okay, Kwame Nkrumah personal memoirs now. But what I tell my mother's love. Kwame Kwame Nkrumah wrote something about his mother. My mother's love. 18th May 1963. And not sure, 18th May 1963. Kwame Nkrumah sure memoir bi. A book with him. The Republic, 1st July 1960. Where Kwame Nkrumah handwriting to me, they try to make me through, but what shall Hana Ubehu a check. Kwame Nkrumah didn't have sa ne pen at Troye, which shall the Republic, 1st July 19. So fantastic, Midase. And the man wrote, the love of my mother. He wrote something. That is when I got to know, say, at a point, Kwame regretted, say, Ote Ahafu, Efria Santon. Because Kwame was ill-informed at a certain point. Because of this friend's letter. Eti, ohini biya oba ne nchen, ene ne be kasa abrofo no ho biya no. Sa ohini no. Ase Kwame on sa ohini ne ntem, because Kwame's agenda was nothing. Ghana nye ye nchen baby ya. Kwame's agenda, and he said, Ghana enye ye nchen baby ya. That was his plan. Now let me read something to you. There are three things Nkrumah Edu baby no, he lost track of it. Let me tell you today, Kwame Nkrumah was a good Christian. But Edu baby no, na yeding. That was number one. Kwame Nkrumah maintained his sharp, intelligent brain. And the anchor baby. One thing Kwame left and he said, Nkrumah trusted too much. Kwame Nkrumah trusted too much. It's a do baby no. Senior. When Timi ani Obaba kwantna kusi say Alhaji Missionaries ne papa ekope Fatia ebre no. Fatia enye Kwame Nkrumah papa ne tua ne tisika ne tinsa me de ye ne ho de. Alhaji Missionaries papa ne tua Kwame Nkrumah ye ne tinsa e wo Egypt and so de ne ba. And we another day discussion. Yebeko. It's a no many people come here and say Kwame Nkrumah was say he had 13 children. In one of his memoirs, Oshaha, Bakacho said in handwriting in Yamo Troy, no. Main fanch there will be brisa. And Oshaha who said before 24th February 1966, coup, Ghana was heading in everything positive. Mashada, I don't want you to read what is now. Kwame listed a ma on one woman and in a madin. Ewaha, you find to her. And another day discussion. You can't want them. JB Dankwah concerning. And si papa yi krata yi otroma Kwame Nkrumah na say kewo for nancy form na wa anya saa edi beyew ye bi prawo e hona ma sia ye hu say no right na dan for pa ne mahoni say right na dan for ne Kwame Nkrumah na right so the body pa ne mahoni na the way I right to person Kwame Nkrumah si build Ghana no say ojana trouble beba. And you see this book, Challenge of the Congo, This book was written by Kwame Nkrumah. Where is the University of Ghana for Washington? And now we have book we are and one thing. But I have a copy. Me farm I was a coffee and a cocaine me yet. No I a copy. Uba me fear me table in the chair. What can we are no my gym book? Nobody a quarter. Kwame Nkrumah, when he was writing about Congo, the things he wrote, you got no idea. Where a letter be a Kwame Nkrumah chiro come be envelope na shim nipa na respond a letter no like as obi a chiro krata na nipa na reply no no envelope na shim ni no wo me ho letter na ankasa so kra na omo chiro ye no eno so tetietia ye friend bill a small note bi na wo mu and a Kwame na sign here. The signature. And some catch say, "Unya hu Kwame signature da." Let me show you today. Let me show you Kwame Nkrumah's signature. At least say, "O koshia baby ya no hu." But let them me fan chiro. Kwame Nkrumah's signature ni. Look at it. This is Kwame Nkrumah's signature. This is Nkrumah's signature. I mean fan to. I mean fan koshia envelope ni we Kwame personal we nyan kwala letter. What? I am Nkrumah so I'm TV so no radio so I have document. Yeni ba ye ho so no my baby fathers. On to fear na sen kwada. Ukọ kan say hey. Injai ka for document bra. I mean fan shemu ho. Bra kwada boko what? And JB Dankwah me say that man or dangerous. It's not be dangerous. Akufo Addo JB Dankwah sini. Check it. Kenoforiata or JB Dankwah sini. Check it. They are dangerous human species. And when you read this book, The Roots of Revolution, written by Jack Woodis, what's some books in our where see a letter Kwame Nkrumah Troy. We a letter Kwame Troy, but we in the memoir. Na osro nti no opese or the two baby di or trauma and son Adam for na a friend Jack no. The friend Jack Bill. Jack John Bill. And we a senior man in Sano, and he wrote and mentioned the Convention People's Party in this memoir. Who quite over Bia Wunya Junior. I mean, Fanshaw. Actually, that person me more details in the power proper. No, but Jimmy, no, my catch yourself for evidence, bra. I mean, so family evidence, bra. The next time, what the hell? Now, sorry, now so TV2 we am show this book. We also tell you about how JB Dankwah clandestinely, Mr. Chuanini can say, clandestinely, or Kwatikwain, or Nam Kwatikwain so, Edidi Nkrumah say, Kuna Editu Kwame Nkrumah Koto come here in Ano. The main person is CIA, and in the year Kuni JB Dankwah. On him from the beginning. Kosi so ko wuye. On him. Me say, echna de mi remfi. Me the power grant driver's license beba bechna. How I got power grant. Power grant da power grant the driver's license. Power grant enye never power grant or Google power grant. Na check data I want ni date kuro wuye. Na driver's license e o me wo. And a Western region for now, Honorable Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, Honorable Emmanuel Amakofibua, Sampi Yali, all politicians are more Western region. What's now? I'm a grant and modern bebreba Boma Ghana. Yeah, the JB Dankwah have a sick grant to console. Now, let me tell you, a grant seeker. When you know, this is this book, the Declaration of Independence. In this book, where we are, Kabeka, Onukro, we about 30 years ago. Kabeka, we 30 years. The book we read say. Per grant, time a Kwame Nkrumah, Mkofa ni fee. America did back Ghana. Na Kwame Nkrumah niska. Per grant legit to Mr. Aka. Kwame Nkrumah do Ghana, Nessika shed bottom do £100. It was per grant. UGCC, JB Dankwah no ni capre. Now I have a list. Contributions are moya ye. Editor sikase omde UGCC no. Me will be a contribution list no me copy. The JB Dankwah Nkrumah rebe ho. The JB Dankwah per grant no one obia womu nyina de obia tua ye bia obia ni din ye tro to ho me wo copy na pa grant te ho owo ho wo kwanza makra na kwohwe bia ye see pa grant kra ai re ho makwa pa grant na so da makwa pa grant ne na so me ne na kodi nkomo and then yet memorial service 60th memorial service Emma JB Dankwah na ye ni memorial service Emma pa grant really Ghana ye wo JB Dankwah concerning first class me say go and look for inside the company CIA diary book we far and abehu we JB Dankwah handwriting me fanchiro twen me pem obi abe challenge we and handwriting America for list I do CIA agent ka yeah list name address telephone number date na ye the code ahye after code na ye the total STP any stipends no more the ahye na the aka no ewo ho whether you were paid in cash or you were paid by a US check to be withdrawn from the US embassy and also we ase ni na wa ha me dey see actually metro mo me pe challenger somebody should come may take me 7 years to read all these books and other books and one day I will write about JB Dankwah me do nyame uti di na obeto nwuram na et Nkrumah na yeso Basil Davidson, The African Past. He wrote this book, Chronicles from Antiquity to Modern Times. Wunya timer, Copernican. Wunya timer, Copesa Bukwe, Nakai. Number 2, Copesa Bukwe, The Destruction of Black Civilization. Great Issues of Race from 400 BC to 2000 AD. Bukwe. Copernican, we are Coper, how Europe underdeveloped Africa. When you finish reading these 3 books, come to me. I'll give you more books to read. If you haven't read them, don't come to me. And you see, these are the things I keep talking about. And now let me tell you something. Finally, Ekumoit, yeah? Me catch now say, Kwame Nkrumah mani huno nye o JB Dankwah sanu nyina was this book. 7-year plan for national reconstruction and development. Kwame Nkrumah 7-year development plan we eno na dey assembly na bra Kwame. Wonim Gomua mahene Gomua for me wo Gomua for history bia no akina na meka. Dey enti na Kwame Nkrumah so mpe Gomua hene asem because of Asante hene. Ntana Kwame Nkrumah empe asen ma hinasem. But before Kwame Nkrumah ebeko Hanoi Emma yebetu no. 2 days before, na Danfo, oye Professor Richard D. Mahonia, no ye Ghana, a US ambassador to Ghana no. Kwame Nkrumah ne konom bitter leaf. And Nkrumah no mpe broditi. It is a Kwame Nkrumah tu kwan otete bitter leaf she ne bottom. Okwa no. Kwame Nkrumah na introduce Professor Richard D. Mahoney to bitter leaf. That is why in his book JFK or Deal in Africa, he wrote My Bitter Leaf Time with Kwame Nkrumah. When you read, you will know. You will know. China, Mr. Metro pictures. Na China memang the history, the entire ma Kwame Nkrumah na asen mahene na omonka. Because at a point, asen mahene, any JB Dankwah ye meeting, and one asen mahene mani hunu. And that meeting was documented. I have a copy. It's let nobody deceive anybody in this country. If you don't know, you don't know. Asen gomu asen mahene, original title na the different asen gomu asen mahene proper. Eye ehuna bobrim. Kumani ensro moja. Akonyana da asen title da ho esopa eye ehuna bobrim. Kumani ni ensro moja kumani ya asante kasa. Eden asen mahene na yusu kumani on a fancy land and we are China. No matter linke to why Kwame Nkrumah got angry with him because what he hafu if you are Santeho. Remember China and no China and why JB Dankwah saw asen him say or the most powerful as of that time because Gomwa na ne mankasi mo China boshi na ba bedru kaswa abe wuramu abadansoman afa chimota afa here and somewhere ebi ho a wo boso a ebetimi the traditional conflicts in the Abanti. I will not go into details, but there are documents to prove that. It's Kwame Nkrumah man who in a book way, and then you know why? Na JB Dankwah pese Ghana say here yebe ya before. JB Dankwah still wanted us to be as poor people with destitution, thrown out of joint, no hope, no nothing. That was the idea of JB Dankwah. And then people sit in this country and tell me, say, JB Dankwah do rule of law by. Oh, come on, excuse my French. That is rubbish. Rule of law. The first book that was published about rule of law was in 1824. JB Dankwah The first book ever published on rule of law was in 1824. JB Dankwah wuni on the rule of law by Ghana. And on the rule of law by Africa. On the rule of law by we say, how can somebody tell me this lie? I want somebody to come and prove otherwise of what I'm saying. When Nkrumah was writing this book, Exeums of Nkrumah, where somebody did. The person who wrote this was called Nelson. And he started with Africa, the African personality, African revolution, African unity, African resources and all. It's all about speeches and things, quotations and blah, 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 blah. Kwame Nkrumah, Troye. But surprisingly, somewhere in the middle of that book, Kwame Nkrumah no typewriter bi. Menim say edasi bizulom ho a. First na sin Nkrofo. Time na Rollins etu Kwame Nkrumah funu. Efi Nkrofo de abankran no. na paper na Kwame Nkrumah type ya oja ye ko kulungugu e man ke ye ko to no bomb no na da shim minim nipo yi. I don't know who took that paper, but I'm still investigating. I may find it. That time Kwame was writing about his wife Fatia, how he met Fatia. Now what we are all typing, but the new money be a Kwame Nkrumah Troy about Fatia. No, I still have a copy. And ordinance na Troy. Kwame Nkrumah na utro poem chain na bet you what. Eye ni na otro. Eye ni na otro. Eye ni na Kwame tro. Eye ni na otro. Things he wrote about Fatia. Na Nkrumah has said Kwame Nkrumah per se or Odi Africa president inti no kware Fatia from Egypt. That's a big lie. Kwame Nkrumah didn't know Fatia from anywhere. Kwame Nkrumah no knew Fatia or Bia no Shianada. Fatia was brought to Nkrumah as a virgin. He didn't know Fatia. Bisane mano sa won ma me ka kire won a. Alaji Scenario ne ma me tiase. Me makọ Alaji Scenario ne ma me on titwi. Makọ ne ma me ho. What happened between me ne ma me na ne ma wo ho? Eno me nka no wa ha. Eno another day story. Ye be ka no ho asem. Me can tell say Kwame Nkrumah catch there and say adia no mpeso obete kran say here Ghana. Our aim is to establish in Ghana a strong and progressive society in which no one would have any anxiety about the basic means of life. Kwame Nkrumah say ya opeso ye Ghana wo dana wo sore a adia ye bibia aduane ensuo kanea baby obeda any ade de any kwan say ye wasam kra and the woda sorry ya readily available. About work so we school a mensu wo man ho so apa adwuma no ho enti Kwame Nkrumah started with San 7 form 4 we school ani amo adwuma mwa food and shelter where poverty and illiteracy no longer exist. Kwame Nkrumah no person o see Ghana or building Ghana o here enim and disease is brought under control. American teaming to disease I say. World Health Organization teaming to disease I say. What they do is to bring disease under control. This is what Kwame Nkrumah wanted to do. And where our educational facilities provide all the children of Ghana with the best possible opportunities for the development of their potentialities. Sa brofwe and the JB Dankwah ho letter koka say Kwame Nkrumah chro brofweti. Potentialities. JB Dankwah say any dictionary. Kwame Nkrumah we say why nipa boni sa akra kreti ono ane brofo. The material basis for a socialist society can only be created by the labor of its people. Do you know why he said socialist? Because his friend from the dark days in Ghana, na damfo na ye freno. Eye Richard D. Wright no, ex-Roman say, Kwame, make no mistake, Kwame, they are going to come at you with words about democracy. So Kwame was afraid of democracy. So he decided that he will go the socialist way. Now you understand. It's books in the way now can be you must be able to link it to one another. Now the mayor in say Papa bi wa your friend Jane Hilgins or your political editor of Socialist Worker and former member of the executive of the Post Office Engineering Union. On a trust, I got this from France. This paper, I got it from France. But what I want you to understand, and they say, take your time. Now, books where Kwame Nkrumah show ye no. Adia bakwa ye me den say Kwame Nkrumah gave the rights of these books to the media. Or say Ghana and Central for any Ghana mine and a book be a watch robia a. That is why JB Dankwah led and Nkrumah called GBC. Esan kwasesa Kwame Nkrumah and Niama, it took somebody to hide Kwame Nkrumah Niama bi. At the Kokan University of Ghana for the home, Shirina. They bent it. They bent it. They bent all of them. Shirina. But another day's story. It's a total Nkrumah person on the data. JB Dankwah wu ye no one person more twisted date no. Said about history be how can. Nya catch so JB Dankwah died earlier than this time. Hey, it's a lie. We know. Because CIA documented every single movement of JB Dankwah till his last day. Oh yeah. So nobody can change the history, time and dates of this country. It's the Ebene say, Makachao, from May, you make a segment on this show. It's going to be 45 minutes. So Oscar, Branayan sponsor. Your friend Ghana Abakwasam Krojing. The undiluted history of Ghana. The Ebene say, some books way now, Kwame Nkrumah etroye, Gaddafi books, Fidel Castro speech way, Kaunda, any other books ni na you better 45 minutes. 3 times in a week, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. You better say you fa book bakwa, you better kanya we. Now what timunsem? Because books won't quite here. Unyan to best me farm. It's from May. And the best starting morning show. This is starting morning show. Yeah, say yeah, do. Yeah, proper kwemi. Yeah, starting marching. April cry and starting yeah. Ti do May. Na fe ya to e boss na ya show the ye be ye. Ya to abawi o. It's kayo for Jimmy so. And it was a strategy. Yeah, say no, yeah, academic field ho. Yeah, fa book na, yeah, no, but every day 45 minutes. Now can person me 30, the entire me 45 and say, yeah, be no be our teacher, our kind brofo betimi a chase akotwi ye e the amount. Ti ye kind brofo a na what akotwi. Said be ya one person tie brofo no betie, one person tie twi ni betie. Na ye wie anu nyina pepepe. So all these books now hinta plus niama Kwame Nkrumah de nsa etro ye nyina no ye be kan ni nyina ofia ha 7-year development plan we ye be kan. That is why I'm telling you say sa segment we be we next year. Afi what you say Kwame Nkrumah man hu nyina 7-year development plan we. The plan therefore lays its greatest emphasis on the modernization of agriculture and the most rapid expansion of industrial activity in Ghana. The essential aim of the plan is to provide for all the people of Ghana who are able, one, and willing to work, the opportunity for development and employment at the high level of productivity. Forward the way, Kwame Nkrumah na natural yo. If you look at that time, na kan Kwame Nkrumah brofo. We Kwame Nkrumah wie ade we 1963. But Kwame Nkrumah started writing the 7-year development plan from 1960. 5th May 1960. Now Kwame Nkrumah started say putting together the 7-year development plan. 5th May 5, 1960. There's a document in this book which indicates when he started writing. Kwame Nkrumah penny obi ochro book we 2 years as ochro executive summary. Now I publish a book we as ochro executive summary. When you read the executive summary which is not part of this book, you will know. Yanko yeni. Yedi JB Dankwah chi ahwe. Why you careful be kwa kutunu fu na hye ne nkase. Papa no ye treta keke oye konkonsani. Onu na ma menya nya yie besi nne because factory bia Kwame Nkrumah see ye bia JB Dankwah tro ho letter and I have copies. Kwame Nkrumah ye Commander Sugar Factory JB Dankwah tro ho letter. Thai Factory or Troy. Bonsa or Troy. Ambassador Hotels in Amekacha Wadano or Kato Samobia Nkwada Kofodia hotel na se Kwame Nkrumah si hotel we na wa be kwakọ dem no de aduro bia kwahye ho bewu. And then we sit in this country ni eja a park grant at all na Nkrumah glorify JB Dankwah. JB Dankwah den oyema Ghana. Show me. I want to know. Ade JB Dankwah na dafunye kotoka. Ha JB Dankwah nyana na dafunye kotoka. Kotoka kwa training wa London bae. Oh be see sa airport na Kwame Nkrumah see no. When the question no JB Dankwah. There are pictures to show. Pictures for her. And so let nobody deceive anybody in this country. JB Dankwah time Kwame Nkrumah kosi so mutu no. Oja fati ya wo Ghana. Eni nkwala totofenwa. A okopie Guinea. A omo ye Kwame Nkrumah is the only first person wa Africa ha. When the president okro bi so, no go the vice president okro foforo so. Kwame Nkrumah was the president of the Republic of Ghana. Oko Guinea, answer no be wunu Kwame Nkrumah was the vice president of Guinea. But don't forget that Oware wo. Onya ba akoso ho. O ma mienu wo Guinea. Maybe you don't know. So let nobody sit in this country and there are documents to show because Makato was a book we mu ade ba ko na me de kire wo no. Obone madin. Share baby obi awo na obi ama me din. Eti akwa bi dinam Ghana hasa ne papa ne Kwame Nkrumah masa nya papa no no. Me mo udin. Enya o papa no all the 13 children Kwame Nkrumah wo won no ochro obi adin udin ka ho. Ai two na wo Guinea no mo ka 13 no masa udin ka ho. Ba me mo udin ewi aso obi awo ne papa. So no problem. I know nyama sem. Ti enim. Na bia mfo bia o bia hyeda enya ne ho se Kwame Nkrumah ba enya me ba ne ho. Only in this way can the standard only in this way can the standard of living of the masses of the African people be raised to a level consistent with the human dignity of the man of the 20th century. Yeah, look, this man Kwame Nkrumah, look, you people don't know. It must be the cardinal duty of all of us in government. It must be the cardinal duty of all of us in government. Now, let me say this. My name is Wendy, your friend Cecilia Nelson. Anokye joined the coup, not driving. And my work Ghana has started almost driving in the 80s. I was a chain woman. Cecilia Johnson can. And Nelson, or the Nelson, Cecilia Nelson. Or the Faustina. Cecilia Johnson here, CPP nimba. Where Johnson, where when this him? Oh, mammy, you had the dinner, mammy, you have me. Johnson. Oh, I didn't mean something Nelson. Where on the Johnson or the Nelson? Or the Nelson, Faustina Nelson. But at that time, I run as a chain and then I'm catching no. She was driving. Yes, I know being a driver no. So we share Faustina Nelson and ne. No what do you say? And running there no Jessica. Back and some phone. That time I want you cool no ya chain no to the car. a man what Ghana has started some more driving can or can be. Beside the son, Nana. That time Necessary Johnson was 17 years. Mommy, may I haven't spoken with you about this, but I'm telling you what I know. No, this 17. On any mommy corner Nana. As some of mommy will run fee. What did your mother tell you about Kwame Nkrumah and JB Dankwah? Hey, you were busy with Nkrumah, how we are more than what JB Dankwah seen da because of a statement. It is also documented. It must be the cardinal duty of all of us in government, Kwame Nkrumah in productive enterprise and in our private lives to ensure at all times that everything is done, number one, to promote the highest level of activity in agriculture and industry to make the Ghanaian live a better life. This development must proceed in such a way as to promote our national independence and the unity of the African continent. We in Ghana have a mixed economy in which we have assigned to both public and private enterprise legitimate and important roles to play in our national development. We intend, however, to use the resources of the state to the maximum degree possible for productive investment in agriculture and industry. Make forward the pay. Time call. The plan also provides for the development of the social services of transport and communications. That Ghana must have its own communication company of electricity and water supply on the scale hitherto unprecedented in Ghana. Unprecedented. Kwame Nkrumah published in 1963. Sabro from unprecedented. 1963 na Kwame Nkrumah. But proportionately, it provides that the rate of investment in agriculture and industry and in the training of the manpower to run the economy should increase even faster. Apart from the welfare of the individual Ghanaian, we intend to use the resources which our participation in the productive economy yields to the state to promote the economic independence of Ghana and the unity of Africa. It is therefore planned, and yet to be planned though, it is therefore planned that the investment of the state in agriculture and industry should be so directed that the most strategic sector of production will come under the public control. And yet government control, public control. It is also provided in the plan that Ghana would actively participate in the movement towards Africa's economic unity as a part of the eventual unification of the continent. Only an economically strong Ghana, can play a meaningful role in this historical process. It is our hope that by the end of this plan, in December 1966, for this reason, took Kwame Nkrumah 4 years. On my timelines, Kwame Nkrumah gave timelines when he would finish everything. The plan, it is our hope that by the end of this plan in December 1970, which will coincide with the 10th anniversary of the Republic. That is like Ghana bedin fiedu no. Ewurade Ghana did 10 years no. Ofa Western Regional, Ejuma Buburija. Ofa ha Buburija. Ofa ha Sika. Ofa ha Ghana ni wato. Ye tuya school fees. Ye will say. Wato fine. That Ghana did 10 years pe. Say ye be 70 next 2 years. 2027, that Ghana did 70 years. We are still struggling to get food to eat. All because of JB Dankwah. Which which will coincide with the 10th anniversary of the Republic. Firm foundations would have been laid. Firm foundations would have been laid for the complete transformation of Ghana into a very strong, industrialized socialist economy and society. The plan has been prepared by the National Planning Commission under my chairmanship. It's the National Planning Commission is one. Kwame Nkrumah chairman, with the assistance of experts from Ghana and abroad. It sets out clearly the effort and sacrifice which will be required of each of us to enable the plan to succeed. Kwame Nkrumah, for my part, am determined that the plan shall succeed, but my determination must be supported by the combined efforts of the whole nation, including members of parliament, our public servants, our farmers, and our working people. In this spirit, I charge all of you to study this plan very carefully, and in doing so, to consider what Ghana requires of you in respect of its implementation. If we all work hard and conscientiously at our task under this plan, we can look forward with hope to a new Ghana where the opportunities for work and happiness will be matched by the abundant fruits of labor for all. President of the Republic of Ghana. Now, to confirm the signature I shown you, and I was saying, so that's the signature of Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Thank you. We'll go into certain pages of these books and certain memoirs written by Kwame Nkrumah. And again, I'm still daring whoever come and challenge me. We are near Debia Yekwechiri. Oba also don't crack haba. Near Tanase, near boy and como. Fine. Then we a adventure to Kwabia Nim. It's a china. Metro the Entia Gomua. Ehuamane kakra wa Kwame Nkrumah sano. Even though Omagoma for Dria Banche from Fantaman Girls. In Fantaman Girls, na girls school. Almost a mixed school. When in Papa Okobia says we did 92 years. I've met him, I spoke to him. Saturday, me say Shiano, me say Kasai. Or come on, my come Fantaman Girls. To say, I'm Papa for one school. Me old girls are now me old boys. And now me old student. Someone, as a captain, I'm see I'm going to over from then. Into school, no, a speech they cry, and I'm through the moko because every miss I think what say, I'm some you or catch them there. And Fantaman Girls, what's your speech and prize giving there? I'm so much what I'm a old student. Name me a bessie, another me a being. So, we'll talk about Fantaman Girls, a pump secondary school, Swedro, Ghana National, near the Balenki Gomwa. It's now who be you. It's my main fa won see her. I mean jaw name. I mean ya do match na. Yebe kan ho asem. And there's this book, Dirty Work, the CIA in Western Europe and Africa. Sabuku. Dirty Work. It was edited by Philip Aji. Sa Philip Aji no ono Sa Aji we. Sa Papa Aji we. Or tropa ono aso na tro. Inside the company, CIA diary. Around a trust book way. 2 books way. The CIA in Western Europe, Dirty Work. CIA in Africa, Dirty Work. Our book we the diaries from Ghana. CIA diaries from Ghana. And in America for the America, man was a books to the baby to at it. Conformity the BCA no be. Who books we mupia yebe kum. Yebe kum. Timetaya, you see, you declassify information. No, me say, I'm so details. The America first one declassify no more. Ne kase wa ha. E wo him. O se buku na che. E wa ha. Nipa na munukro no wu ye nye ne. Carl Becker wu ye 30 years ni. Ti buku e di mfi say. Yeah, this 68 years.
Yes.
Bibi kakabe na be kana fe ye timi. Ako main topic in so.
Oh, bibia mekane say from 92 besi ne aboni bi ensie no na che say ye da onyankopon ase efi say nkrofo bi baya na omo wa adwene se nka ombenya oman we say a pan ko ombeye ne yie pa enso ya ma wo mu kwan ma wo mu anye ebi ne obi ti say Dr. Hillel Liman na benye nuru mfie miensa enso on record papa we nkuwa ene obi a ye di amamuo share ne nsa no the first budget read by his finance minister Dr. George Bene Chirobeye Professor Bene and Vice Chancellor of the University of Ghana otete petrol so wo Ghana na ebinsi da Nkrumah mreso kurebiensi first budget will reduce the prices of fuel products ananka obeye omaini ye pa nso fofia ntwata ene wo obi te se Kwame Nkrumah every year independence anniversary no a wodi no entina His Excellency President Mahama none me use His Excellency because I'm president be no His Excellency so who's a Ghana titles pa one Putin what is obi friend His Excellency da
President Putin
Trump and a professor no kura woman Clinton and Obama what is the professor after wonder no. Now in reality I've always been arguing me patches say o free university campus ho na won kira dia university bi ma when ya professor da bi when ya professor nti say wo bo PhD dia wo be reduce to the PhD na Ghana no sabi o te say ya maame vice president ya da so friend Professor Mills your friend professor Saudi an kameka kira o say your friend Ivorian president Babo why a professor of history omunim say you drop it when you leave the academic field nti Ghana for mom yen kana ento yentirimu na ne me pa kira no ene say nkofo bebre ti say Nkrumah mo na nko pese o mosom wo mu man wo mu aba ne yetwa asukọ liman yetwa asukọ ana nipa bi nso wa asem ye obi anim say ya de mfia nwotwe de man wa meye bibia enso ye yi adwom bone bi afiri yetirim nti wo munya wo mu mfia nwotwe no ama wo mu edidi wontirimu me bomba ye say no na beto aso saa kosi da wiase we ebekọ na wieye mensam no enie
eno anu
ma wie
Kwame Nkrumah ene kutuka den
Kwame Nkrumah ene kutuka niametimi aka ene se osaje fo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah de yatene ho asemo a na Ghana ni bie nim se on 24th February 1966 na woni ha onenam China no ho Hanoi ho na odi neni akire a coup esi wo nachi sa coup na esi no tu na se na 3 days ana coup ni si odi kan ko Egypt ana odi neni kire China no ho chiri ufiri ha na wotena plane mu a be 21 hours ansana wadu na cheso mpeso make sure se papa no menha ansana yaye coup no now coup no ne kofare bapa de nanka eye police commissioner Hale eye commissioner of police Hale wono na CIA se de aka ye ntwesa bi won say President Mahama nyame be hira no pa ono na openly na anu aye di afofida no otumi bie na no e kan say Kwame Nkrumah tu aye tu no eye America fo CIA omu na etu no papa na nyame ebe hira no efise nipa bebre ntumi nya akukuduro enka saa se oh na say one we exceptional citizen of this country we are very there be no cry or wa yeka na to da bi na wo ka no cry na nipa empe wasem chesensem bebre ha wutumi bie wano ka menimisa abonten yetumi di watem se wo pon kra na wo kwa na be social media se wo yare ebi nso se wagu em se ni nyina ya wo bi emire bi oba bi wa ha mire afinidi e fa na nya ya titi no kono ba tago ewia kete na me send the message say yes asem esi there no kre so lo am pa chao what a restaurant didi odidi pa na ne nsam yenu ni nyina akora na odidi wo nwui hwe enye no nti me pa chao ne awo ye no to aso ye ebi na ye nso ye na no obi edi matem say who say asantefo ka no kre pa that we have a very few people among the Ashantis we are Ghana ni na we are Asantini na wo mpe afri fa asemo a o mbeka cho say wo tan Asanteman say wo support kotokwa wo tan Asanteman say one ka say prempe the second in the C G all because it was built before independence no mu yire fi say 51 Kwame Nkrumah be leader of government businesses 52 no be prime minister and no lay foundation for the first 5-year development plan and no mu na ye DCG 54 and ye to us see Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology nti obo mu nsua ade no adwene ye won say enam se ye CG 54 ne de konfanochi din eto so ninti saade ya Asante hini ne si ye me pa chew ye government of Ghana project Kwame Nkrumah esi here at the mind nipa ni di matem say me distorted information na ne ye nipa na bufu kura ne say me aka ho say Kwame Nkrumah enka ode Accra International Airport efe yasamba kutokanu bi mu ade to yasantewa onim se nipa esua de me reading from offenso hene Nana Wiafia Kenten deterred ne baba ne master's degree thesis.
That's right.
Sir Nkrumah because of female empowerment.
No person to
Yasantiwa and then the glory of Ashanti. Shagene ba Nkrumah timo. Or say. Ebibi memu nyina. Asante for point the 2 minute abrofo ekwen more than 5 times. About 3 of them Asante for edi nkunim. Santefo edi abrofo no so nkunim aye twa broni amrado se Charles Makati eti ma abrofo paki wono ma free Gold Coast ekoye na British traders eyi won wa governor aye freno McLean Captain George McLean no be ye adwuma ma fe o mani mu ye de no ansa na British government sign aba no mo de o mo amrado bi o mo be replace Makati e freno Commander Hill no ne ya nananom fantefo ani denchira ne asen omu sign the bond of 1844 asantefo de twa Makati ti om de no omu friend Mankata broni Mankata enti sasante atumi aye saade we ya Ghana ne abibimaya nimonyam ebiem 1900 abrofo ne ye omu adwenso omu ba omu ache prempe the first 1896 this time no mo ba no mo abefa sikadwa no akọ na sante de enkodene elusu nipa about 20,000 sa kono sante fought with just 1/3 of their army bekwa ni wo mu group ni nyina wo so wo abre ne ko mampon ani wo mu group no agona mo ne wo mu atoto aso ni wo so wo abre ne ko nti mampon pudio mampon kokoma eyi no abrofo no na ye Kumase ejeso Jaben ani wo fenso ani etumi gina ekoma Asanteman edi ya Asantewa echi Kwame Nkrumah sua ni nyina no se me sha Asanteman animunyam na se oba no di animu no ani amemfa airport no nto ahemfo ni bia mede to oba no tete wona e begimbre Asantefo committee by prempe di second kabia wo mantie wo mu se onko PCP ni ba no mfa ni di emfa nto so enne Asantefo ni big ringidi matam sa denti na mama asem we apie ewo abonten wo mo pese ya sign ekata so say Nanka Kumasi was going to be the first city in West Africa and about the second in Sub-Saharan Africa. I near 2 universities. When we say Kumasi Central Hospital, Kwame Nkrumah be mu no be a medical hospital, teaching hospital no. When we say Nanka ye the medical university at the count. Na G company na esi hospital from G Walters and Slater Limited omi a British for da bia na ese police for ni soldier for bo won ho ban asante for ni so omu mpekwa Nkrumah project bia wo mu asase so enti medical friend say university no medical university na ye be ka won na no spread ko be kwai roundabout ho ana Nkrumah ka say na sa de we manya ne Nkrumah anya ne Cape Coast anya ne secondary takrade ana tamale ba ye ha na sa mo se mo nte ase de a ene medical university ne be kwa akoka Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology ho na nanka university no eka hospital no ho wo hwa nti we ne mfomso mienu a ye nananom ye se ye ti ase se ye mfomso nko bi hye ye nimonya mienu na ye miensampo ba ko de ye gitu mu pa wonu so obi a National House of Chiefs no say Ghana ha obi enu wa ne tumi na to asante hene momente ase na they were kingdom of their own womo popular size no na kamia ye say ye 3 times the size of modern day Ghana nti so the ababa she Ghana ase dia ene won hene no de so ye life president of the National House of Chiefs womo musi Kwame Nkrumah enye papa no ne time ni yina na sante hene na ye life president o Captain Smart yes Nkrumah enye papa no ne time no ye life president of National House of Chiefs ye two no and yes sign simple ana Nkrumah tie biom awiro wosem biom asanteman entie a odi ya asanto adi to airport no so ayanye antum no 1969 ana ye pass mra bi afra no National Liberation Council Decree 339 ye kotoka trust fund decree na yenye bibi mfa nhye kotoka animonyam ne awiro wone se na prempe di second no kasa kira ne nkrofo a wo mu antie a edi no ehwere wo no this time de oka trust fund no ho into oka ho ne ye de yensa de share ase 1969 say yemfa kotoka di fanto airport no so megidi sana na sign na nsa airport na ne were aho no wa picture Kwame Nkrumah picture ya asante wan so ya ho hwe ya enyeye
okay
but I should continue my story
continue
na 24th February 1966 coup no ebaye antokwa esi dendende no na ya plan coup ni say the leader of the coup medical akase coup no yesi aye ne hale ene pa na hale recruit ni nia eye de coup because ni nia omu mfiri ba bi kro no omu firi omu kakasa baako enti wo mu mienu ne ka wa adwene bo mu no na say the top of the police administration hierarchy no ena coup no ehye wonsa nti ye recruit asojafo na yemfa nkoye coup no sambre no na kotok Afrifa ewo Kumasi na eye 64 ye de kotoka ko Kumasi no commande ho no na eyi wanase Afrifa ewo nase ye major na oni kotoka ne ye colonel ena omu fa namfo emu odene nti kotoka a de kune hale eye ewese omu kakasa baako no anya den so mbe recruit no do omu transi ye meeting no omu hu se Ghana kanfo na edoso paazi ase ye tu Kwame Nkrumah na hwan mu a wo mu nyina miensa ni nyina ye bo wondin no eye ewese ti problem kase paa beba nti yempe wo kani emfa enka ho no so woni makwala akra ne Afrifa major and Afrifa so akoye Ashanti so na National Liberation Movement no ewo nti ehwo de benya instant support no recruit no ede no eka ho ya pa ne se kotokai 1952 Kwame Nkrumah eba be ye prime minister no ono ene select kotoka say yemfa no ko training wa brechire ojiji kwala bebre from other ranks yempia wo mu nkode be ya also open more officers in the Ghana army onu akroso no de Afrifa called Sandhurst Afrifa ko de tutrasem wo hwa ye sake no the same Kwame Nkrumah no pa cha o man no se mede ne ba se montrade no manfa na ma se mompam no nti se ne otibia no monwia ne kakra na mensanka maade se nipa mienu we etumi ebo po ema yetu Kwame Nkrumah aban eguye kotoka no ye leader of the coup and indeed or no and in the early hours of 24th February 1966 otumi enya akwan kopie broadcasting house na announce ye the announcement na ya tudin say a myth is broken omo de church books bebre amekai se migina elementary school form 4 na me papa ye sojani te na watoto bia for so sojafo ni na mo toto books ye tu Nkrumah ye church ye no nti minya bi kan a myth is broken ye general yi natural okran na mo primary elementary 1979 na me read this book no nti koto
copy still
me papa measure the no me dey say na me kan ade pa nti say na my akukure na but oko University of Ghana BAM library I believe Africana section e bi o bibia ye keep
no mo sheshe kwa me Nkrumah dey
Nkrumah dey no mo she no na akire nso o makoto abantima ne hawo nti
o makoto aba
say wash wo dey say okoto but say broadcast house she ye BBC ebre
gua o maka information no mo to mo wase wo she no akoto
akire akoto na na emi yempo ni say dan ka say she na bonten na university a repository of knowledge
tell you say me kan na mo fi say bia me bo mitrim tie ni ha tie ni
na only Paul da no me ya she no Professor Finn history department head of department Professor Finn.
Oh, and them demonstrate to go kuta so mo yes secret.
Oh, she na dia Dubu ahen. Professor Dubu ahen history department. When they say yan she Nkrumah books. Na ya chi ambra say wo ebe hu say ukuta Nkrumah bi bia na hu bi bia no ye hu a say ye chill. Nti no kwa say ye she in the books. Anya wo mu wie in University of Ghana of all universities. Ema Ken USC kra anya sa ade no. University of Cape Coast anya sa ade no. Almost say Afrifa ya de pa se watu Nkrumah near man honorary PhD inti I list of PhD holders no Afrifa ni di eka ho inti eba ne sa ubohu say award awode man na lose credibility it is a school bit is a presec and it's a fact yes so kwaya science obon so we wa nsa na yafa na say headmaster biba na we 555 ni say ya credit no kra na of our also the school na ni munyam abafom the University of Ghana completely came very low say wutumi ye obi te say Afrifa wo man PhD no ye PhD title holder from Legon na yan to yasem no eso
yanko
na mekasi ya friend say a myth is broken or no na utumi announce to the whole nation say you took Kwame Nkrumah aban no egu samire ni mu no na Afrifa LED soldiers edi wo mu akọ the army commander no ne fie the chief of defense staff na nka ye afari no na ni nji ku no nti wo mu ene na nka ho hwe na nipa later on be head of state General JB Dankwah na nka okọ retirement di afari abehye nanai ono no mu invited no because of power balance no near the year head of state. Now my story is that Afrifa and only these soldiers at the call your friend say army commander nakache general bawa ni fie no mo shoot bodyguards na wo ni nyina na your boy papa yipuno no so ti dede no ba abonten nti oba yara na Afrifa ho no yemfum so akese na nka so instruct other ranks na edi na chi ni bi already planned nti wo muduru ha no mo shitu papa no nka wanya asem na we dia papa no ba no no na obo nutuo eku no ewo na yire ne ne ma anim no mo nyina so ye sojafo no ya mark nanim ato ene ne mfemfem no ne yesan ba hu se oka NLC hu no kofo ne de hye wontirim on the quiet nti 1979 26 June ya fifa sojafo bi si ekokumo a wo mu nyina ya SMC fo na ba ko pe a wo ye NLC National Liberation Council ni a wo mu hand over 1966 yetumi kokofa no ebeka hu ne dia na se wo se ya tit for tat kwala na yere na e marking nanim ana 79 coup no so na CPP for doso ewom so papa we not only say o 2-year master sojani a wonye boni bia army commander onye boni bia you could have given him an arrest because that time you no na yere yakum ne bodyguards we need to be bia no one say the handcuff be there ebegu nsa ne yede wakɔhye prison after the coup no near you ya pamo na ukofie you shot him in cold blood and you seen you wu or two etuo no so yede owu ewo etuo ano. Now the Kotoka story was that first and they say obeya announcement we to Kotoka coup ni yes successful ni dey say na make no free fire obi an na ni ed no wo more support a chain your friend is saying Colonel Kotoka pa na sante support ni di n'echi no anya nwanwa say yi junta ni di no anya di bia mfa so ni free fire soldiers say ni do to so National Liberation Movement Council na say more or less National Liberation Movement and also aba because NLM dey no mu chiri kwa Nkrumah nti e dey say di no the toso and ye Kotoka no ye man post kese obey Lieutenant General near no General Officer commanding the Ghana Army in yes Chief of Defense Staff when ye be antena say Flagstaff House a one no pay nti kwa Nkrumah fie no the first person to occupy the place after Nkrumah General Kotoka uni say no make say no wakwakofa e de ama wo ho okotena ho. Now one good thing Kotoka did and indeed two and they say Afrifa made an announcement to say wo bibia ye be hu no ye CPP ni no ye monitor enkunu especially say we enzimani no automatically we CPP ni enkunu and in 3 days na ekum zema for 100 and it is a fact it appeared National Reconciliation Commission Nkrumah bodyguards na be kan eye baby bi make us asem no na obi e de breast and a CTV yes make us as immediately na papa panimu be say yes what the lawyer is saying is true. I remember on 24th February those Nzema boys who went home never met their parents again and they came back to report to school that they had been shot. Kunkumon just like that. Now at the papa back one Mr. General Kotoka and they say on no be counter announcement. Now she a free friend ni say coup na ye successful awie nipa ne yatu na ban no egu eye dan na ukoya announcement say yankunkum CPP for titiru enzemafo enti eno ne ade ba ko a Kotoka eye ya odi save oman we say enka it would have led to something called genocide nke be kum enzemafo nyina because abio etuo be no mo na soldier for yesi yankum won soldiers are trained to kill enti enka genocide Hutu any Tutsi die ebi besi oman we say mu nso Nyankopon wadom Kotoka esi ano. The second the first anniversary of the National Liberation Council our meeting no it was Kotoka who suggested to them say NLC members National Liberation Council members and they say Abraham Nkrumah wo ho no abrofo no kama to yetrim so ye corrupt and ye nyina ye ba ko ne yetu na ban eguye yatena akonwa so 12 months yentumi making progress bia with the same human resource with the same natural resource with the same brains and the same white people advising us o mine former neko the we asese we fi ade na wo san kofa yenchi it was Kotoka in all bravery no catcher one see ye betumi a mommy and Fred Papa and Yemfa ne my and Shensa. Yes, I did not find Guasia Mray. We will be seen as heroes. Can't ask them no more and no tina a mancrophobe pretty true yanum ewafono. Ajone year one say, Papa can't some way February, March, April, 17th April. Na coup si wo Ghana. Coup na ye, coup nisi ya free fa wo tamale. Lieutenant was said Poku. Yasuma they say Uncle Su Castle, and one head of state, Ankara Norte, Nonko Bonitio in Kuno. Oduru one meeting face to face, a whole soldier ni say, Uncle Tio a Mojan Wuda. No one to Enkuno, and no Janima Papano, a Quambi a quatopun of Fampo and no Jane, a coy. Na your friend is a Kotoka Kwan Yakuno, 2 leaders and a bako, only 3 male leaders. Army Chief of Defense Staff in Yakuno. head of state ni agya managane ana free for year no ho unim post of I commissioner for finance and trade ono afrifa nti ono no aye pe na kunu no hye tamale nti saade a ma ewasi bebre dwene se asema kotoka ekae no ana ma mpanimfo no hye da hye abortive coup no se na ye yi kotoka afiri ho ebisi ye ni firi ho no so no eni na mu ana afrifa so benya head of state ni bi ye and indeed say ankra ni ho a sanka pani odi oye general nko no no be head of state and so ebo kotoka because ne yakum no ana fei omo ayeku na nam se ewes na aye wonku no no mo atiri mu papa na sanka bedema Nkrumah deputy no baba be president of Ghana and nam se yakum kotoka na ewes ni tumi ani say bia wo aban mu no eboa ma afrifa na downfall Professor K. Buzia and Obaba the next prime minister. That was 1969 election. Now idea back between Nkrumah and Kotoka a medical abortion and say Accra International Airport the patrona ye British Air Force base Second World War nimu helicopters they are for near at the bar na ya drive wo they are called the 37th military hospital built by the British during the Second World War, popularly known as 37 Military Hospital. Near the home country, Diakotena war no. After the war, no, now a year friend is 47 year prepare for independence. Nkrumah they need Abereno. No wonder 51 obey a leader of government business. No, shall say or trim for various reasons. One. Yaje independence what we are seeing beba Ghana nti airport as early as possible I say better than international airport ebiem onimisa Ghana be play leading role in African unity conference upon conference president upon president ebeba Ghana so we needed an international airport nti by 58 ni they na do world class standard edin to anu metwam wa hu si ase me ha metuetuefo aso ebium na ne ekokosi ya ne se coup no ebaaye 24 February 1966 ana sojafo yi ekọ kidnapo Kotoka omuduru ho no na ayi bi wo ho akwa bi wo ho ye fe no Captain Avevo ono mudi kan coup no munya kwan entae na omu capture Kotoka eche no ede no kwe according to their own statement no a book be the challenge of our time and also 1979 we were form 4 no elementary form 4 and also me reading from my father's library the challenge of our time we are good we see had no we in fear you and uncle for yam from so say wa be wo me obi ani wa be and once I be kind we are ready so be sua da nyame be mu ahu no ma be obi ani wa be we wiase the challenge of our time and I can wo mi say uncle for no ko che no omu chain no initially a blows pa na omu so omu body tuetuo me nimba bia na efa enko nti omu wo war ne sekan sa no ye week na no omu gina ho cha so a wonnim reinforcement bia beba nti na say omu tu efiri ho omu di omu anifa airport kane ba bia na start no esi no area ho e na omu koja no omu war ne sekan san bo no etuo in fact eyi na yes ade no ata Moses Moses Yabua was atane by broadcasting ebe ya announcement say watu aban no and o ye mistake when nyina ho na okọ ofiri okọ ne girlfriend ho ekọ kan say wonti asem asimetu aban na egu omo ayi no omo friend no operation Guitar Boys na Kotoka mo de no say operation Cold Chop nti ofiri ho no Nigeria nyumbi no say Guitar Boys you gonna see mommy water o never run away and no almost slaughter yes cassette na ebo sa no so ti baby nti time a omoma wing commander obeye PNDC Nkrofo ni bi na NDC so obeye yi it's a member of parliament who say ben na later oba drew wing commander and so no retire from the army sisi na me refi nidi yesoma ni say onkofo eliku nti oduru ho no ye colonel na we mu nso eye other ranks no o mantima anya hwe sata o hanka o command say ye monutu onku no ko mbe ku no so nti we ka wona ku na anye yi na kotoka de na yakum no enti maka no ma mienu about Nkrumah and kotoka first one or two no kotena ne fie second one ono ne first person o ka senka umbetimi a
emfa na mamu nsama no
emfa na mamu ema no the third thing between Nkrumah and kotoka ne say papa ya ono see in the airport na momo babedi 3 years 1966 to 1969 amo set up kotoka trust fund no adentina NLC for no mwanya momwantimi anya bibia sa 3 years no mwansi airport mwansi harbor mwansi factory mwansi university mwansi hospital mwanya hwe nti omo hye se trust fund no mo immortalize the name kotoka no mo nya bibia mfa kotoka di nto se na Kwame Nkrumah na yeso ye corrupt no a yetu no ono ne airport no
ne yede kotoka
di ede etoso me pa chawo anso ho 1966 coup no mo eye no na osagefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah ne maame abrewa more than 80 years a Kwame Nkrumah ye hu se ye set up committee se nhwehwe na asset mu no ye hu se ne bank account no na eno no pay no eye from accountant general to his account monthly salaries ne ya hu se sika bi free outside
aka honda
and ya hu se ospendi sika foforo bi enu mu na withdraw to say an ordinary civil servant e bi nsi wiase ba bi ada nti no na chese nka se hwehwe ni mpo de ne sika e ma no woni me say Kwame Nkrumah e withdraw sika from his own account eto estate houses mienu e wo Laboni ade ne maame ne maame abusuafo kotena ho ene maame ne din ba ka so se Nyaneba estate woni me say ya tu Kwame Nkrumah no sojafo e Nyaneba estate edan a ne ba sign enim fifire ato ama no patro nya East Lagos no se Nkrumah wi o man sika si dan we say na cantonment so ana abrofo na estate no obeto yi ni bi odabi onoara estate a state ACC ko betumi de 100 amane maame ko betumi aye ne opebia ne bottom sika etimi tomienu ana ode maame no kotena mu after the coup no omu di soldier for jeep kosi ho e paake maame no no manyina agumu and the statement omu yisi no mre bi meka na nisio edam hatatatata say go back to where you come from na na thought is nka bia maame no kura fra Ivory Coast ana wo boso anopai ana Burkina Faso ana Togo mutu ka na hu mo de no ko himfa Nkrofo
de no ko si ho
na wo de no ko Nkrofo la go back to where you come from or where you came from no Nkrofo no what is the nature of Nkrofo nka na hu bie mo
dabi
no mo de mam ko ene fie na wutu no wo mu no so enya ban dia now the next thing na make am ho asem no ene say kotoka trust fund no so tena ase no mo se kotoka yere eni ba bite hwa oye soja no a oba be ye colonel no san be ye general
no ni ba bite
woni ba bite apart from Bama camp oye military property woni hui ebia no woni bi enti no saade a estate Kwame Nkrumah esi no ye ma ne baako na ne yere ne ma kotoka yere ne ma enya ba bi entina. So that's the relationship between kotoka and
oh yes, I just said who's casa. But still I have that red. Anyway, Peniche GH, man, how many years already?
No, you're born in the 60s in Tiacho.
60s to
about 60 years, and this 60 years. Into one more relationship, no, any na me twaso ade ahye Ghana phone kran say sa no meye sisi wo ya bakwesem mu no aboa ye meye hu say sa abantuguo enye ade papa se hwe kwan a kotoka fa so ewuye afi wo mu nso a edi animu a ebo Nkrumah ho epobone a omukwaji sika wo abrofo ho ne etu Kwame Nkrumah aban eguye no omu nyina abrabo be ye basa. In fact, the coup, in an interview before he died, Kwame Nkrumah was a very good man. The time you beka assemble children, no who said ni anom abopono ewie so amfa no ho anyimu a anka omo bekuno no omo ka kire no nso se wanka ho a omo bekuno nkante sanka obete asem no ho a kire kwa Nkrumah na no osuro se bibie besi bia hwa na yekuno hale enso eka se wanu no ho pa se otu kwa Nkrumah bangu na da bia na ehaunto no na mempese mmekirem sa nipa mienu no baako committee suicide na busuafo hu no mo tete krata ni mu ntentem between Hale and Deku baako nso adwene ye basa between the two of them mempese mmekirem na mom ye meden se won abusuafo nyinara to date wushia wo mu a they don't make any fun any joy out of the coup omu hu se adebone ba won fie ebinum ye lawyers omu ka enya ade a nika na menyi ni se ye won de se won de hye koyesa ena omu mompa ye se won de hye bi nso ebe kwa koyesa minime wura bi a mepena sempa oye one of the coup makers in fact mami modin kotoka ne de hye o say omu hanwa ma o se say din kotoka ne different so say office bi e be fa na adwuma obekọ no
kotoka na da no so ntina
wonya enemies no osesa fa the real family name no nti se 32 years abana boni bia ensia megidi se Ghana fo ehun se ne esi no eye abakosem no man bia so ne woni abakosem we to the negative ya mompa se ebi ensi biem na abambone ya abambone se den no woman en fear nine ese nchanchan wonafe fear nine no dura ne yeyi no afri ekonwa so na ne wadwene ya wo se ya aban papa no ne ye de abahye nanan na mompa se yetu obi egu na ye friend se obi papa ne yakọ polituo obi maame ye se stray bullet ekokunu mpachew empare ye Ghana ene bibi menyina piaw
amsia emra kotoka kan se kebe ya enkofa kwa Nkrumah mra no bedi na ban no nkrachefo bi okurum authority ai chen be bo mu din ya kato wo se oman no se de esi kodme ade ya me ya pa okurum ne se maka chro dada o se professors mienu amebo din ya o fapani ba ya wa be body same din Professor Dubois Professor Finn and Latter-day Saint Professor Michael Anokye
o kire me political science na mi twawa no ono ni obi a oba be kire de wo school hwa Professor Mike Okwe that I'm not a Dr. Mike Okwe
okay tie
na de bia ntokwaba class ho because ono ne subject ne politics in Ghana and ono adane politics in Ghana na entro because Nkrumah enesi tema habokra Michael Kwe beka kire se enya Nkrumah na esi na abrofo na omo esi dada e na obeto so eye pa grant sika £100 ene ye de kofa kwa Nkrumah fira burochire ba ya Michael Kwe betwa ntro aka kire se JB Dankwah lawyer ni nu a woni sika no wono ni sika ene ye kokko ede ne kofa e bai nti se ba ne sa nipa so kaya de imagine say asema mi ke 1989 89 na me was second year very good 1989 na me ye ono ne subject no na me di ka cho say earlier on 79 na me di 16 years peno but you man read the challenge of our time na ma say read a myth is broken dia na che say as at 89 no margin no 79 mo elementary form 4
I don't know what you say
I know na adwene mo bi na 89 na me wa university makọ secondary school awie akọ 6 form awie na me wa university second wo betwa ntra kire me say JB Dankwah wesika akọfa kwa Nkrumah de aba na in any case o wesika mpo a say ye nkwala no say pani bi esikafo na ewo krom ni omo na tete mi mankwala na tete mi ni wi a hwan na to ball no nya sikani no na to ball na wo see players na nkonko to ball ayi pa grant at party na the whole West Africa only the leading timber merchant na say ye kwakofa general secretary for Aburochire aba na party member bi na ye de ne sikatwa ticket anya ono chairman na Michael Kwe be twa entro we say ono ne ba ko bi afa na FK
message say on phone so ye bomb ada pass
o hada na ye bomb me na me meti hobi o be twa entro na omo na wa kokuduro samre na obi yesura de so ye ba maka o down o suro na akwa we ye fa ne say esremfo no Oh, students, won't be almost rush. Almost rush. Madam Fubakwa, Mutashiru Dari. On a no way in the be any group or no more at with the same land, no one to me solid, no more challenge. Michael Quay, Chantress are no more challenging with Johnny, not walk up. Me say, maybe you're a student. The same meeting in law school, Abraham no Baba law, we patch on mini Michael Quay, on pen Nkrumah some work when be as now, one pen as a man hygiene. At the same measurement peko to Casamano, and so. No kura woman at the papa kotoka a year, say I'm found Nkrumah Mran. And no na mama be can hano. Kwame Nkrumah no mpe JB Dankwah sem. And so tell man now Obia Institute of African Studies or share you sir center ne say. So mo betumi aye research akọ mo animu a before me bi one writings no ehia pa mamon toto na say. And about Professor Anton William Amo, first right. Black scholar. Offering one about JB Dankwah. No, not sure that book be the can concept of God or the chair. Abrofo say, no one introduce you the concept of God. You know, dada. And then Nkrumah had read that book and was given honor to JB Dankwah. I don't know who Michael Quay there. So 1 + 1 because you say free Nkrumah when instead of 2 we say 4 all because of the name Kwame Nkrumah. Emi de so we not here now Thursday. Oh, you're very dishonest scholar. Very dishonest. Very dishonest. Dishonest. Yeah, Brecha baby I can professor and I say a JD free so. Yes, Chantra cannot correct Michael Quay. I'm telling you, you are a liar. Yes, a dishonest academician.
And the may have thrown the challenge, say, Obi or any other history and document other than the year one. Share, and I want to be my why? What are you talking about? Before, sir, my back radio, and today I'm disclosing my secret to you. A radio or TV station, my wife gift you OTM. Only me say that night, me pack me books in na makosha me nefie, makosha koku ebi mu. Just, and yes, I mean that though, just to ensure, say, eh nokura na me babeka. If you say no social media, we can we are who kotifili mwa, and ye, right, and ye. Eti echinano kotoka kan say, yemfa Kwame Nkrumah Ghana man back. Now ma o mine ye do. That's it. Enipa miensa emu mienu ya lawyer for na ba akoso ye businessman. O mo ka se o mo mpeni a. Enti ema o mo ne pa grant ya aka no. E cha mebobo mu din. Ene ye number 1. Kwame Nkrumah so ameto sika bia da bia. Mahoni no ye US ambassador to Ghana that time no okahono mo kope sika one be ya koso modam eti edubwahi history book no troy no wrong sika no omu free Kaiser that's right nti your man no kwan bosia no ye dey tete no and no ne say about 90% of the power from Akusombo no enko ono no aluminium company no nti ono tu from Jamaica no abes melton no Ghana na ye detetete yenka sanet nti Nkrumah anko IMF na wanje bosia mfaso bia eniso odi ye project otu ahoka Kwame Nkrumah sika odi ye vaku the odi ye Kotoka International Airport that time na papa chiri mu dada ma wati asese na hona na World War no mu no hona na soldier for no ebebe balande Buka Professor Dubois Hichoy na no entro gwen me yasa wewu to challenging and nyede gwen and I will prove with documents Dubois history books ni na no 90% entro say nakro bi enkan. Number 2 Professor Ron Michael Quay I don't want to talk about him wo fa wie no gwen ade bia ni ho ni mo tro okay, can you see, boom. No, I am I. Aaron Michael Quay, history books in and trunk one room, or Tiasi or Woo in the Mao or Metna. and time of choir ambassador, Ghana's High Commissioner to India. He was being challenged by India. Abirwa poso. Catch and say you are a liar. And Professor Michael Kwe Otiasi Omui, Chief, bring your history books, and we'll bring you the facts and figures and records. Document Nkrumah signed, document JB Dankwah signed, document Kotoka signed. They have found 2 books, and throw. The youth before the year and say, Yempe Kwen Bisun say everything about Osaji for Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Na YNCH and rewrite the history of Ghana.
And then the CIF, I expose.
Oh, as I'm a man, see, I didn't know who. For the amount, soft talking.
I do cry. One say, what is a papa that sukuta title Reverend? Reverend Minister.
Where?
I am Michael Quay. I don't know. In fact, I shall say a decent church power.
Oh, that is
one man churches in Libya. Until I'm so one, she shame me, and
you see, and
the penny preaching chapter. The young say yes to cry when we were cross on us.
Professor Dubois, he throw say. Okay.
Oh, me say, woman, Michael Quay, crying, or back to say yes when we are saying the answer.
No way.
Oh, well, because you didn't know Egypt in one baby.
Professor Dubois, any Michael Quay say, University of Ghana, I Kwame Nkrumah the sea.
Okay, Mr.
Huh? But that's a lie.
University of Ghana.
Say history no ha.
Near University of Ghana bia. Near what University College of the Gold Coast. Ah, na what Achimota School.
Tienio.
Achimota School. Na no na. Your friend is Nkrumah ebabedi ekonwa no. Wono eka kire abrofo ne say Adena Yense said the University College of the Gold Coast. Yanyan University of Ghana. Na abrofo ne so wo mo mpene because na ye University College to University of London until lecturers and professors in at a certain point apart from Buzia omo aka ni nyina aya abrofo until I said we have created.
So Buzia was the first African
professor
Ochade
our Institute of African Studies
okay
na ho na owo African Studies na institute ni de na Nkrumah baby no Ochade African Studies so then he will be at sociology department. I want to Buzia. Na your friend say a course University College of the Gold Coast wa Republican wa Akufo Addo one year free one. A mistake pa nkofo bebre enim. Kwame Nkrumah and declare republic 1st July 1960 and ka charter ni bibia etumi elevate university no. What the kokoma governor na Lord Luso on sign. Because Obeka said, I saw good British, your friend say, Queen Elizabeth and Nimuase. Yan signing to Ghana, no, the University College of the
Gold Coast.
Until say Obaba president, not charter, no, Yadikoma parliament, no more G2 ni elevated near the buy or then in Sasha here as president. Into University of Ghana, no, a year 1961. University of Ghana. A fair buildings no one a see one. A young clan for asase la for asase and Nkrumah edge free one hono. O see all the modern buildings we see there. Into a young Nkrumah na see University of Ghana. Ne advisors catch and say a Hobben airport into one share year na university no was in the buildings na I know you see Japanese style architecture. Yentetia. And Paul said, "Dear, the total solo. Ni 1948 names. Modern names like Commonwealth Hall, Mason Saba Hall, Legon Hall because Ojifri Legon no I see honor with one hall and Ekwiafo Hall. Why Ekwiafo Hall? Ekwiafo Sika.
Tienye.
Ekwiafo.
Because say JB Dankwah na University of Ghana.
Can prempe the second impona credit in the corner. And Nkrani bi your friend Nanka Bruce. Nanka Bruce ne yusu or no what the only private radio station on the Gold Coast. And na tamwa committee tena say yes university ba kwa kafura bay wono. na Ghana for se ye pe na Nigeria for so omo pe na committee ni se dabi Ghana ben Sierra Leone kakra your population ni sa na Nigeria for ntimi maha omo doso dodo about 10 times more nti yensi university ni wo na ya yura ho ya na prempe the second say don't worry. That time Ashanti was the biggest cocoa producer region made up of about 3 regions Bunafo and Ashanti Assassin no na Ken UST one.
That's right.
Oh yeah, you know, and also who could carry cocoa be our Ghana. Jip to Miss Ayanti Sikani bin to near the University. So from 1948 to 1951, a year leader Bianco discount 51 Nkrumah saw Sikani Munu. And now Osi University of Ghana, a year cocoa for a Sikano. University of a year cocoa for Sikano, or this University of Ghana. Enti on now with 1 hall a hall or we na pempe the second no say wahu amount for Ghana kuafo nyina sika wo de say university amaye say akasa aban so be hye men so animunyam no say to wo na besi bia ma enya second capital where there ya Miami University and no see
Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology
and no catch answer.
Where is JB Dankwah? Where was JB Dankwah at that time? Where was JB Dankwah? After so do Kwame Nkrumah, JB Dankwah concerning and we am demes some another 19 letters or throw here by Kwame Nkrumah or copies or a concern or a traitor. 80 sir Professor Edubuahi na me fa de kransie ba kokwe di otiase na me ka say JB Dankwah na University of Ghana yes I feel kra do no kra na kofa di ni de bai odifin na bai
edin ba ya Ghana na Ghana
Chemio Tama Kwame Nkrumah conclude Cape Coast dey ka
Ghana ne ya tene se tamwa omo tena se omo kofa Nkrumah bai na omo se omo pe ya fa ne se logo when me say bai no na UGCC woman need logo flag bibia o nti woman tena se na JB Dankwah can say Kwame Nkrumah suggested say you use eagle no me say the entire no so that famous African agri no kasa bi otaka eagles abi before ye eagles nti ade bia ye be ye mfa eagle emrem no so da bi eagle dey say eagle oni na nam ewiem ne wa dinkra symbol bi ade na ye pa dinkra symbol na danche mienu na cross no
that's right
the fancy funtum fruit ye
danche fruit
na watchra say na Nkrumah da form chi na Nkrumah watchra say o za Nkrumah no that say no mandabre no nim no say and on the chance me am here no say one woman ye funi na ye ba ko no no mo ano mienu no e pese ye ka kire won say mo ano na e mienu at the end of the day mo pray bia no ho say me wa no so ni obedi bia ha dwene be ko ye funu ba ko mo nti e de kire o man ne say mo bia enye basabasa na at the end of the day your destiny ye ba ko na Nkrumah ka kire ne say na mudi kan kontokwa ansa na aduane no abekoko na nya conflict ya na enti wampe Kwame Nkrumah asem we na me ko kan ya se nya amane yeso ko fa di so bra Kwame Nkrumah se Ghana no be say Ghana there no say that famous the first Western Sudanese empire Egyptian civilization the Guyano the first black civilization the Guyano the second black civilization was the kingdom of Ghana. It has been proved they say accounts and when you fi Intina woman yen you so no see there be you be use akanman JB Dankwah
what's up
akanman tinka na woman who say a car kanman and we Nkrania you are not covered where you are not covered not that you are master we are Ghana you are not covered and Nkrumah to me a dispute is a yenye entino ye boguye and no maintain the name Gold Coast one and nam say one Nkrumah tirimuno the following year na 1948 riots in by and no drew students of
Addo no think Cape Coast
call a second D
no ko share grant
no ne omo head office no Salt Pond Salt Pond oko nti okodru Cape Coast na problem ya ba people were standing in clusters say yeah you wo mu adikura no say no yen create school be like an evening school or any there you better register as a workers college a private workers college right. Now immediately on near Akwa find a plunge on the first headmaster of that school omunya obi uncompleted structure around no kasa students and any teachers no say omo me yusu eho almost say there be now your structures papa be at the side
na ko patro man I will say
no say there be say me mind so pa na me kwa kopa
broni a cho
e mamusa na mo ma money assuring you say anje bi e beje fa hudie ni eje fa hudie a say school will be one of the best in the country mo campus no so be so asen other schools na mo kan e fe nso no Messi Ghana National College ni be in every region because of Niamo Mayan. Also Ghana National be Akufo Addo. Also be so Tamale.
That's right.
Na Nkrumah team pasa region be as
Ghana National College.
Where
was JB Dankwah?
Wow. And the dean of Ghana National the Ghana no na etoso. Na 1948
before independence.
48. And I nyansa won it him. It took 9 solid years before we had our independence. And so now what and so I didn't want to be say a beje fahudie.
Lawyer, yeah. TV, very simple.
JB Dankwah. JB Dankwah,
they say people teach are defeating it 3 times. People teach are not JB Dankwah a lawyer.
And Tiasian so say, Tio, Tiasia say, Tamayeti Matime immediately after the 1951 election, around 52. JB Dankwah no uyo. JB Dankwah was 65. And then as Antifona Kofano Mayor, the leader of Matime NLM. Na leader ni ya bafu akoto enti mpacha asante fo mu miensu ade o ye ni bibia wo Ghana a ye friend Dankwah buzia tradition
ebi ni bibia
I am tro aye JB Dankwah supporters led by nyaubo ni dina wawu no professor no
edubai
aha omu na de won adwen kase adibiti asante fo se asante fo na doso indeed Sashanti edwene ho mienu ahu nke omu beyi president saa kosi da wiase besen na unity na ni wontem no mu nye ready so mbe asete wo ho na achemfo na wo just about 6 constituencies ni mudi wonchi no ana da bia munya problem na till metropolitan Ashanti ko awo 47 constituencies metropolitan Ashanti and a new region ye create am ahafo is 100% Ashanti who 6 constituencies
what the can ho
47 plus 6. Nye 53. I'm so one kunta na nye papa.
53.
One can in term na me. What I say? No one call Asen North, Asen South, Asen Central. Na ye part of Ashanti Empire.
That's right.
We are Aguna so edrum no mo Ashanti na babegu ho.
Aguna be search now.
So what I say? Central region Aguna so edrum. Obanya be 3 constituencies. And Breman Sikuma. Also ko Breman for so Fikuma se Breman na eba ye. So what I say? No wa be kwawu. Obanya be 4 constituencies o kwa we 100% Ashanti. We are wa New Jabe North and South. Internet say out of 270
275 no more than half
no Ashanti nko atra ni nsam say ya ni ownie wuwie a efei omunuanom etese dagomba ana oti region ana nzema akotoko tina make sure say Ashanti toto wonu omayia nka Ghana politics ni nipa bi omu pese odi president na wodi ana mama achimobuakwa royal house no aye smart ana omu agunu saade no ana omu create imaginary yibia NC dan tro say Dankwah buzia tradition and na make kachira we say buzia wu 65 adena Asantefo ne te party first one NLM second one UP United Party no mu di buzia bedi anim samre na Dankwah te ase wa ben okuta PhD no mu so mu po bia wa ben obe challenge Kwame Nkrumah enti na edi dombo si nchen no mu de bafo akoto si nchen no mu kofa buzia me pa chaw Dankwah na so ye member other one may ye leader one can Asantefo who is so ye part of them and the reason was very simple United Gold Coast Convention no mutie no omo constitution no e wo mu se wo mu pefa hudie for Eastern Province and na ye Greater Accra and Eastern Region Western Province and na Western Region and Western North Region and the Central Province others na enka ho others no enka ho ntinanke se JB Dankwah etumi be ye first prime minister na president of Ghana Kampacha Asantefo nim say nko omu nka Ghana ho ye nuanom sremfo nim say omu nka Ghana ho ewafo nim say omu nka Ghana ho nti tamu Kwame Nkrumah de ekon no call Asantimo mo chire prempe the second we no say ai nkofo ni tirim odi o nti fa hodie no wo mo hwehwe ne ye nka wo say na wo nka ho no say any mayor won wade bi why you ready say obeko ma you ready ba ye krado why you krado obetuma ko ama me waje fa ahudi ama me wo se nana metimi saa de ame ma wade bi no na be ma watumi edi nkonim. Ashanti Youth Association is the biggest youth association on the Gold Coast. Mena media one penny for ne bi ne Alalam Ponsa Vito Wusu Krobwadu say Kwame Sanapoku Jantua ene nunua
na ya Jantua papa 7 years
Franklin Adubo bi Jantua me de won ma enti wode won bedi Nkrumah echi no na Nkrumah mu aye do because they became part of the committees for youth organizations na ye part of the UGCC and they share Nkrumah say as general secretary direct to Obabedru South ha near say 48 riots no wono na akofa ba say ye pamono so momo pamenu afire kuo no mu woni nipa etamachi eya Asante hene odi nipa de atamachi nti Ashanti Youth Association no ene ma ba Nkrumah chi dom ma wotumi beje fa ahudi a Asante hene title no de ma no dan wo kire mu se ka so oni kan ko mankasi mbebua
no be san ko wie ye Asante hene ho ana mo wie di wie ye ma no
sa no osa agefo enti Ghana de ye ka JB Dankwah no wa ye bi no ye academic
ye den na magana
academic work
academic work be ade de here
there be so no say Ghana ni
say akaso Ghana ni but ye kaso ye den na magana
academic work no ye ade na in politics no ekwo no
ya politics ni ye kan
ye de akosoro too much mesrew ye de akosoro
ye de akosoro too much
na fen so ye ntiase ye se mateme ho no nka ho the party no egu ye nti 1954 no a won so mu enya 3 seats pe ewo 1951 election no nti ye beto 54 de no na che so mo aban no won de na adwuma ba awie ye kora asantefo na nyusu ne biem ewo wiase nti ye den na ne ye say Dankwah Buzia tradition Buzia de that time no ya Asantini because Bono was Ashanti West and ofri Bono wanchi nti na that time no ya Asantini 100%. Oti ase no ya Asante na Asante fo no ko fa ne ba ase leader na Dankwah de na Asante hina hu se wodi ne ye bibia nye ye because no time Asante so wo do Asante a nke Pa Grant was just a businessman
sure
or no sika no wo na nimidie no nka mo amota na chi no na mo beka kira ne se yanfa ekonu ko ye nuanom Asante fo esrem ene ewe na mo gitu mu se ase wonko ana ye be operate na se Kwame Nkrumah de abeka ho ne yewini a na obi te ha wose JB Dankwah ajefa ahudie na obi te ha wose JB Dankwah na ma ye din Ghana na obi te wose JB Dankwah na Akufo Addo kraka it was my uncle JB Dankwah who built the University of Ghana and why entro mienu na wo the first one ya chirem say nye JB Dankwah
there be onim ho hwe
and the second intro is unrelated JB Dankwah
why ya
na Akufo Addo related
why
JB Dankwah every adade entem
I don't know.
Ya wono 21st December 1895. Awo kwa ubi pon. O papa edini ede ya obuache na obo twene. Awo amoakwata deted na himfie. O ma me de frempon ma nsa na me de frempon. Na momu no o papa no ware ma mienu na yere pani no. Ana ofira himfie kwa o ba be wo ofori ata the first. O be ya wo hene. Na ne yiri kuma no eye mu ba ene ne ebe frɛ no Dr. JB Dankwah no etemesraw na Akufo Addo no free efie ho all right ne kurom pa ne nchi ne abomosu na Dankwah de free adadie ntama na only relationship bear to the stool and omo akambo mu ama akoye bibi te se wodi akonwa ho dabi in fact time politics or lusu bibia watifia one year she no no change hine no so I was na have brother no mo papa ye ne ma me koraba nti na ye na awerho e na okokofa no no mo man honorary title to say nkoso wa hine of achimebu akwa e me twafo hine na ye de man no maya na manye Akufo the relative na she no nti okabia my uncle babeti wonu ma ye di na me hwe no
Oju for say to no kai o say wan kan wan wan tuma ye be cho bebe we joko to say So I would say the best year Ghana history no ya man nyira. The Eduboa he ne Michael Kwemutro ye no Professor Finmo. Ono akura na say die enu ye shake Kwame Nkrumah books no say the be ya on head of department of history.
That time no Akufo Professor Dubois hinas. Wo mu me enu kan but edru say you two Nkrumah and you aye one. We no mo be office and history dia ne na eye. To mu me enu wo mu nka kura. But at say yi one mumpo abrofo yombe mo be colonize Dutch na Britain. Woman can na mom so many before the Lydia no more come after that no more cocoon on tokwa.